Hello, welcome to Prerona Television Canada. On behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, we're very happy. We're continuing our leadership speaker series, and today is our 58th episode. And our topic today is leadership and talent management. As usual, our regular trainer and speaker, Advocate Gio Rahman, is with us. And for those who are watching new, like to share with you, he is the CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of Independent University. He has a lot of experience in corporate sector and also in the academia. Thank you very much. Those who are following with us, I now request Advocate Gio Rahman to continue his presentation. Thank you.
Good evening in Canada and good morning in Bangladesh and rest of the world. Thank you very much, Edward. Just give me a second to open my presentation. I believe you can see my presentation now.
You can go ahead. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So today's topic is leadership and talent management. And we have been doing this series for a significant period of time since last year. And we have talked about different components of leadership strategy, organizational culture, etc. So today's session is to actually focus on two components. Obviously, since this is an issue on leadership, we will discuss some components of leadership. However, our primary focus would be on why do we need talent and how we need to keep the talent happy within an organization so that person builds the organization forward. So before moving into the crux of the matter, what is talent we need to really look at? Talent is something which allows us to do something more effectively than someone else. So when we say we have a talent in mathematics, that means I have a inclination and a font. I have a capacity to do mathematics perhaps better than the other person. Not necessarily always, but it's my inclination, it's my tendency to do well. Somebody has a talent in music. So talent is a term which is used globally in all environment, all cultures. So when we talk about talent in today's environment, in the business domain, we are talking about managing these people with quality standards so that we can do a better outcome. We can develop a better job for the organization. So when we talk about talent, we are also talking about attracting them, onboarding them, bringing them on board so that they are happy and content within the environment in which we are working. We want to develop them in line with the associations that we have, in line with the organization that we have. We have to keep them motivated and give them the energy so that they continue to retain high spirits so that ultimately they perform. So that's the whole issue of managing your talent within the enterprise. So today's session is focusing on those issues in relation to leadership. And when we talk about leadership, we're not just talking about the leadership at the top level, the CEO's leadership. In today's session, we're talking about leadership at every level. You might be an administrative officer, you might be a manager, even in your own smaller capacity, you have to handle talent because it's not only just your talent, it's people around you who may have significant talent. Moving forward, normally I start off with some quotations, and today's quotation is from Steve Jobs. You all know he was the founder of Apple and a visionary entrepreneur. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and then tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. This sort of tells you what Apple Enterprise is all about. You know, Apple Enterprise, you know, Apple computers, Apple iPhones. These are legendary products. and which has paved the way for society to look into newer ways of communication, more strategic, more exciting opportunities, music, etc. It's now all supported by this entire organization. Why are they so successful? It is because of their high technology, newness and innovativeness in their products and services. So how do you bring about these new changes, these dynamic new technological outputs that nobody else is even contemplating, whereas you are bringing it out into the market and making people understand the strength of your product? It is only because you have hired the right people, given them the right environment, and sort of stood behind them, nourishing and nurturing them, motivating them, guiding them, but allowing them to flow with their own intellectual capacity, their own knowledge, their own skill set. So that's how a great enterprise is designed. You don't build a great enterprise by always directing. Sometimes there would be times where you would be directing as the CEO or manager, but if you can sit back, relax, and let your people come up with ideas, come up with solutions, come up with new ways of doing things, that might bring in a multiple dimension that you may not have right away in your head. It is not possible for any manager to have all different dimensions. He or she has to work around his or her environment so as to find new ideas from the people with whom he or she works. So that's bringing in the new knowledge, bringing in the new spirit, bringing in the new mindset onto the enterprise. So Steve Jobs was very successful. And since we need to follow successful people in life, we can follow his thought process and use it in our particular environment. We have to also understand that what is the type of job that we are engaged in. If we are in a job which is absolutely repetitive, which has very little managerial input that is needed, that means you are not in a managerial position, so to speak, then having this talent and deploying the talent in that environment may not be a strategic fit. So we have to ensure what type of people should actually be rolled into what type of position. You just don't want somebody with brilliant academic records to come and do some menial work at your job. That person may not be satisfied with the level of knowledge, the level of competency, the skills that are required to carry on in that particular job. That person will be frustrated after a few months. It is not just his or her frustration that is at matter at that point. It is the entire process of your job hunting to ultimately providing the job to this person. Everything is frustrated. You have to redo the process because this person is really not the type of person who should have been deployed in this position. So as a professional manager, you have to keep that in mind. Moving forward, this is by the famous writer, J.K. Rowling. Failure is so important that it's the ability to resist failure or use failure that often leads to greater success. This is a quotation from my last session, but I wanted to re-emphasize that if you are dealing with talent, you also have to deal with failure, because a talented person will try different ways and then ultimately find the right way. Not necessarily always. We cannot say for sure that all talented people find the right optimum efficient output at the end of their lives. We cannot say that, but we can always say that some of these activities, some of these ideas that they give out sometimes transform the world. For example, just look at J.K. Rowling. This is a lady. She was a housewife on some kind of government subsidy because she was not doing well, and she had 4 children as far as I remember. But she had a talent of thinking wonderful ideas, and she had been reading a lot. So she realized that I don't want to be in this despicable economic glut. Let me use my talent to something which is remarkable. So she mustered enough courage within herself and she started writing. Obviously, maybe the first set of writings were not fantastic for her. Maybe she had to redo her writing. But what happened is she took this journey to out innovate herself beyond what was comfortable for her. So she moved beyond her open space. She moved outside her comfort zone and then tried something different. So talent management is nothing but finding yourself beyond your comfort zone with people who are maybe superior to you in different aspects. So having this mindset of talent is also bringing in the mindset of failure as well, that if you fail, it's not the end of the world. That's the good managers should think. This failure is an opportunity for you to learn that there are other ways that needs to be treaded in order to achieve success, and you become more knowledgeable and more experienced as to understand what issues, complexities, what changes that need to be incorporated in order for you not to fail next time around. So this is a good learning. So don't take failure as a fatal issue all the time. Use failure as a moment of learning. Okay, I understand this will not work. So that's how the spirit should go. Moving forward, Iacocca, another legendary professional, a CEO of, I think he was the last CEO of Chrysler Corporation many years back. He used to say, I hire people brighter than me and I get out of their way. I get out of their way. He is the CEO. So what he's suggesting is that my job is to find the right people. My job is to find the right resource person who will be able to navigate this ship to safer shores. That means my department under this person would be in a positively effective and efficient situation. I may counsel, I may motivate, but I will not be in the day-to-day affairs guiding this person all the time. If you are telling the person to do certain thing this way and that way, ultimately the innovativeness, the keen insight that this person had brought in from, let's say, his or her previous organization will have no impact to this new environment. So everybody will be coming back and forming their mindset in line with their old mindset. Whereas perhaps at the beginning of the interview process, where let's say this corporation was looking for innovative spirit, innovative mindset, innovative thought process, innovative design and strategy, but when they joined in, somehow some CEO or very senior person started molding that person in line with his or her own perspective. Will you be able to tell that innovation and the new spirit that was needed to move this organization forward, will that spirit be dominant in that environment? Obviously not. The other spirit, the old spirit of the dynamics that the CEO and his or her team was engaged in, this person will somehow have to gravitate to that larger spirit, the larger organizational framework, mindset, perspective, ideology within the organization. That will be the dominant perspective where you will have to gravitate and align yourself in those type of situations. But when a person like Iacocca comes, he comes and he looks at the opportunity that is in front of his face, and he looks at these unique individuals whom he has hired and understanding their capacity and allowing them to grow within the organization. Something magical can come about. You might say that an organization normally is driven by a particular vision and everybody has to be aligned to that vision. That is a slightly different scenario. You have an objective and goal, financial, economics, strategic goal. Whoever comes will have to be aligned to that goal. That's fine. But the old process may not be the right process. And this new person will have to come up with a new strategy, so that new way of dealing with this, the business model, so that they can achieve their target and perhaps even more. Imagine they had talked about a product which would have certain features and certain characteristics, but let's say the new person comes in with tremendous energy and knowledge to create something far greater than the old planned project. Do you think the top CEO or the corporate boss should tell this person that, look, we had this plan of creating this product. Don't worry about your thought process at this point. First, do this part and create this product. And then if you have time, or if you feel the organization has the intent and the market is there, then you can think of the superior product that you're thinking of. That's one way of thinking. The other way is that the top management is telling you to shut your mindset at this point. Don't be too the smart aleck. Listen to us. This is how we do things. And this is the document or the strategy map that we are following. You don't have to worry too much. Just do your part so that you are aligned to this particular game plan and achieve that target. Do you think this talented person would be happy, content in that environment? Obviously not, because he or she has greater capacity to offer, greater energy, greater thought process, greater knowledge, greater skills. You are containing that person and putting a lid into his or her energy level, knowledge base, etc. Sooner or later, that person will be frustrated and move beyond your enterprise. So you are doing a disservice to the enterprise. So as a professional, you have to look at your own particular life, your particular segment of business and your operative segment, and ask yourself, am I being a person who is allowing talent to grow, or am I being a person who is throttling talent, or sort of sucking the lifeblood of the talented team? If you are in the second category, revise yourself as quickly as possible. Sometimes you don't know this because you have been trained to think in these terms for a very long time, and every new opportunity comes in your direction, you sort of say that shelf it, we don't need to worry about this at this point. So and this had been your overall structure in running your leadership role, and you are only interested in what is currently being operating, and you are an efficient person in making sure that particular operation is done most meticulously. That's fine. As a manager, obviously you will want to be meticulous in the work activity, but you also have a strategic hat that you are no longer wearing, because every time a new opportunity comes, you are thinking that this is going to be dysfunctional or create some kind of stress level. Things can go a little bit wrong. You shut it, you shelf the idea. Then you are not being the proper leader that the world or the organization is looking for. You might be following the very simple path of leadership design, where you're being just managerial in your capacity, but you're not a leader. So if you want to grow your enterprise, if you want to grow your own particular self, go back to the drawing boards and look at all the activities that you do on a regular basis. Take 10 minutes of your time and realize or reflect on the issues which might be in line with what I'm talking today, and start building yourself for the next level. It is a process. It doesn't happen over time. And it is a process that needs to be articulated, understood, and then executed. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen automatically. You have to put in your effort. Okay, moving forward. This is by Matthew Jeffrey. Recruitment is marketing. If you are a recruiter nowadays and you don't see yourself as a marketer, you're in the wrong profession. Very significant statement. Recruitment is like marketing. Why? You're competing against other people in the world, and your organization is growing. But imagine you are getting half-baked people having reasonable competency, but not the true competency that is required. That particular person that you should have hired was taken by IBM, was taken by some other company called Beximco in Bangladesh, or some other company called Syngenta in France, or whatever. That person is being taken away from your interview set. Maybe you had interviewed that person. Maybe you had really looked out to find the world's greatest resource in a particular subject matter, and you found a set of 10 people, and you thought that out of the 10 people, you would be definitely hiring 5. But you didn't really see eye to eye, and you didn't really uh, communicate with them from a very strategic point of view of this is the type of job that you are looking for, and we are the enterprise that will set your imaginations flow in the direction in which you want to grow your career. You didn't discuss those issues. You didn't give the opportunity for that person to really feel that this is the enterprise in which he or she will really grow as uh, a scientist, grow as a top executive, whereas the other company did exactly that. So you were not a good marketeer of the thoughts. You were not a good marketeer of your environment. You were not a good marketeer of the attributes and characteristics that this job offers. This person will not join your enterprise. Having said this, you don't want to overmarket yourself. What is only truthful, what is only fair, what is only achievable, those are the things that you can offer your potential resource person whom you are hiring. If you're hiring a very powerful talent and telling that person that these are the environment that you will be working with, and when they start, you only give this person maybe 2 or 3 such committed environmental environmental condition, you make them available. But let's say you had committed that you will have access to high research because we have a wonderful research lab, and he had talked about the quality of the research lab. But when this person really steps in and looks at all the equipment and gadgets, the person realizes that this is antiquated and old. In order for him or her to do research in this particular organization, let's say $500,000 would need to be invested. Will the organization pull in the resources to buy these new equipments and technology so that this person becomes a very effective researcher and bring about new products and services for the organization? This person may go into dilemma. This person may come to you, and then you might say that, oh, that project is on the way. Yes, I told you, and it's coming, but you have to wait 6 months. So as a professional, having high talent, high brilliance, will you be wasting 6 months of your time? Because it's not just what you want to give to your organization, it is also your particular incentive within the organization through which you actually grow. So if I'm given an opportunity to work for an enterprise, and if I'm not given the opportunity where I can really grow, if it's a science-based environment and I'm a scientist, I will not be situated there for long. I will immediately look for another job. That's for sure. So if that is the mindset that I have, you can imagine how many people with very high intellect will have similar mindset. I would say it, I don't want to put a particular number, but I would say it would be a great majority. So if you are a professional and CEO and you have an enterprise where you will be hiring people with high talent, and you did not onboard them, you did not give them the right set of opportunity in which they would be working as promised, then they will be on an exit mode. They will be starting to think that, when can I leave this organization? And during this entire process that they will be operating, their mindset will be sort of shut. Their mindset will be not, I should not say shut. They will have less efficiency in running affairs, because even if they are reasonably happy, they're not completely happy. But if you give them what you had promised, and even give them a little bit more, that person will be a magic. That person will create magic for your organization. And sometimes you may not even know how great of a opportunity this person is creating, not just by person himself or herself, by bringing in the motivation and input level to a high, to such a level that all the other people within the enterprise will catch on to this person's particular perspective and particular energy level, and they will also be inspired. They will also feel that, oh, this new person is doing so many great things, why don't we support, and why don't we also come in and work as a team and create something magical. So the entire enterprise will have a new flair, a new flavor, a new mindset, a new energy level to move forward. So you really can't tell what will trigger this, but I can tell you that when you are building your organization with a rich fabric of imaginative and creative people, and then you're giving them the right circumstances to work, then output will be magical. That's for sure. So this quotation was by Matthew Jeffrey. Normally, I have my own quotation. So this is on leadership in a line and aligned to our topic for today, talent management and leadership. So leadership is having the capacity to quickly identify required talent, invite them and give them the opportunity to work independently to co-create a dynamic and thriving enterprise. The whole point is to create a dynamic and thriving enterprise, which is achievement oriented, which is production oriented, which is market oriented, so that people buy your products and service. People feel that this is the company whose products and services are at par and beyond the national standard or international standard. And if I were to invest my own hard-earned money, I rather buy their products and services. So if that is the spirit that you can portray out into the market, then you are in the right journey, you're in the right organization. And if you can portray that right perspective, and if you don't have the right products and services, then the market, you will be betraying the sentiment of the market. And if you betray the sentiment of the market as an organization, pretty soon people will lose hope in your product, and then ultimately they will come out. For example, if Microsoft and Apple and Google, if they don't come up with new ideas and new product designs on a regular basis, which is significantly changing the game of the marketplace is being lifted by these organizations. If they don't do this on a regular basis, then what will happen is that people will lose their focus. They will look for other companies and move towards those other companies. So when you are in a leadership role, you need to be constantly thinking and evolving. And how so? By making sure you quickly find the right person. So you will have to have the capacity to identify the right talent, and not just in knowing the talent, inviting them to start the job working with you. So you have to be very smartly engaging them, and then all the opportunity sets should be in front of these persons so they can truly work to their desire to create an optimum output for the enterprise. So if all these people are working in a wonderful fashion, and the grand orchestra, the maestro is running the show, you will have a brilliant performance. If one of the cogs of the wheel, so if you have the master of the orchestra waving his or her chord and giving direction, and if everybody else are up to his or her standard and up to the musical level, then what will happen is a wonderful orchestra. If somebody is falling behind, then you will hear cacophony. You will not hear the sweet music or the sweet experience that the audience is expected to hear. This due to this person, then the entire environment will be in a negative direction. So you don't want to be working with people who do not have that particular capacity or the skill set to perform up to the standard. So if you have hired all, let's say, high-end engineers from one of the best universities of the world, say MIT or Caltech or Stanford, and then you have somebody who is maybe a nice person, but is not up to the standard of these other engineers, falling much behind, what will happen is the output will be short. The output will be coming slower because this person also has this particular function within that enterprise. So if this person is not equipped with the right mindset and knowledge base, so he or she has to go back and forth, learn certain things perhaps, and then do certain things. Or this person has to resign and say that I cannot do this. Can somebody help me? And some brilliant engineer has to take out a little bit of time and guide this person. So the entire process gets a little bit slowed down because of this person. So imagine you have an organization having more of these person, then obviously our output level will come down. The any initiative that you had been thinking of will slow down because the people that you have engaged within the framework in the departments where these activities are taking place, they are not equipped. They have to be retrained, retooled. So the efficiency curve will come down, the output of this department will come down. And since each department is intricately connected with the other department, the ultimate game plan of rolling out a particular product and services within, let's say, 60-day period will be pushed back by 10 more days. So 10 more days, imagine 5,000 people. That's a lot of cost. So your product will start off with high cost. So recouping the revenue and then recouping the profit will be obviously delayed. And also, not just the delay will take place, it will also create market ripples that the company could not maintain its official call to market for this product. So it will be a negative branding for your organizations. Why did this happen? It happened because you didn't have the right manager or didn't have the right scientist to look after certain particular component within the organization. So you have to be in a leadership position, always in a position to find the right talent, inspire them, guide them, and give them the right opportunity set so that they can independently, sometimes collaboratively, but independently work to co-create with the other people within the enterprise to create a thriving and dynamic and efficient enterprise. And that's how the organizations which are moving so fast are moving from being an average organization to becoming a great and grand organization. Look at some of these famous organizations like Alibaba and AliExpress, how quickly they have moved. Look at Facebook, look at Google. They're constantly thinking of tinkering and nurturing with new ideas. And then if they feel that the idea can create something distinguishable, something unique, then they take the risk and assign the right leader within the enterprise to look after those new innovations. And if that leader or that department head is sufficiently knowledgeable, as the way we are talking about, having the right talent, so to speak, then the output will probably take place. So that's very important. So moving forward, I'll just quickly go through these. Role of the leader in talent management. So what is our role as a department head or a leader in the amidst the environment of talent management? We have to be receptive. You have to be always keeping your eyes open. So new ideas are always coming in your direction. Not just coming, you should be able to take some of these new ideas and bring those ideas into reality by allowing those people or a set of people to look into these ideas, build network to explore potential talent base. If you don't have a great network in society, in your business environment, and the university levels, how will you find the right person? So that's important. This is a pipeline of quality people that comes every year through the system. They finish their university or they finish their graduate school and they're looking for a job. If you can pick the right talent, then you have and keep that particular talent in your entire and organization for a few years along with other talents. So if you if you are like the organization which is magnetically attracting talents, output will be significant sooner or later. You have to dialogue and exchange views for strategic fit. Always discuss the organizational issues, particular domains, the mindsets of the organization, the cultural norms, and how to go about. If you can give this strategic input, and you can have the people working within these strategic environment and feeling content and excited, then the talent will be retained. Otherwise, they will leave your organization. You will have wasteful effort in doing the talent management exercise. Nurture relations and build interest. Every talented person, you have to build a nurturing relationship with that person. If you don't, that person will feel that I'm somebody within the enterprise, but I am not being supported with some comforting words, some supportive people, some supportive logic and business processes so that I can do my work. So if you don't do that, then you will not be able to build trust with these people. And if you don't have a trust building environment, then not only people who are talented, many other people will also leave. Promote opportunities for growth. You don't have to have a structured approach to their growth. If you have somebody who's extremely talented, then you can allow that person to grow quicker. For example, I know one person who works in the tax department of Bangladesh. This person joined as a computer operator, but eventually, due to his extreme talent, the tax boss of that department, who probably was a BCS cadre, saw that this person has a great talent, and then allowed that person to support the other departmental activities. And then this person became an important person within the organization and servicing many other areas from the area on which he was originally recruited for. On the original recruitment, he was just an average typist with some condition to do data entry using the computers. But in his greater capacity, because his talent was understood professionally in Bangladesh, this leader within the house saw this talent, realized that this talent could be used to deploy for the welfare of the society and the country. So this person was given another assignment, and now this person is a fairly important person doing multiple activities for the tax department of Bangladesh. I don't want to name the person, and please don't ask me the name, but this is the reality. So this is an opportunity for connecting talent with other opportunities so that the talent retains his or her interest in the organization and feel that I am also learning, I'm also growing. And then the last point, but not the least, is building an environment of confidence. If you share positivity and confidence within your organization, it will be an effective tool to keep people harmonized, keep people nurtured and nourished. People will feel that I belong to this organization and I am happy with this environment. So I need to move forward. So that's another one important tool, an important attribute that we need to follow. The next one, moving forward, is talent hunt. Where do you go for finding these talent? Quite naturally, you will go to the universities because you have the young blood there who are graduating or finishing up their masters. So that's another one area. When I say universities, we also mention colleges. There are many colleges which offer 4-year degrees. So the next one is HR and other leadership congress sessions. There are many training sessions that are going on. There are many leadership focused seminars and congresses that takes place across the world, where you meet up with different mindset people, you meet up with people from cross-functional domains. So you can have a reasonable understanding of who this person is, because it's a less it's an environment where you are not really interviewing someone, but you can also assess someone during the process of your interaction with that person, and you can get a reasonably good feel of who this person is, because you're sitting with this person during these sessions for 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe the whole day, or maybe a set of days. So you can find some good people from your interactions in these type of environments. Then community voluntary organizations, you are connected with different organizations, and you deal with a lot of people through this process. You engage with people in the community. So through your interactions, you also find that there are people who might be looking for a particular position to fill, might have a particular talent that you can utilize. It's not just you are thinking of making someone an employee, but you might think of someone who could be working as a strategic partner with you. So the antennas can be open, and you can easily find out from your engagement within your community the right people with the right buoyancy and the right positive mindset. Then comes specialized trait specific organization. If you're a member of a specific organization, for example, if you're a member of Bangladesh Supply Chain Society or Canadian Society for Human Resource Development, then you know that there are people there with whom you will be interacting in sessions, in interacting in thought process development type of discussions, etc., networking sessions, and you will be able to find people there. So there you will be also be in a position to explore your talents. Corporate events, big corporate gala events, these are informal areas from which you can sort of identify people with whom you need to re-engage in further discussions. But these could be your pointers. These could be your starting points from where you can pick a few people. So that's important. Then obviously the technology supported online sources such as LinkedIn. You can look at profiles. You can see their activities online, and then you can knock them saying that would you be interested in this opportunity, things of that nature. So we're not just looking at talent in terms of employees only. You can look at talent as finding the right business partner, finding the right resource partner, finding the right investment partner, etc. These are all connected with the opportunity for your organization to grow. So I would say that this is a regular process where things can be nurtured on a regular day-to-day matter, day-to-day particular domain, and then people will come through your interactions, and you can sit with them and navigate them to the right opportunity that you're thinking would be a strategic fit for your organization, or creating this linkage as a strategic partner and jointly collaboratively working for some output which might not be possible for you to do alone at this point, whereas the opportunity is ripe and sitting. And then if you can engage a few other people, then that opportunity can be yours. So everybody is benefited from this collaborative model of working with talent. So there could be many different models through which you can actually deploy your talent, deploy the talent within the organization, and finding talent from the external environment. Moving forward, talent and organizational culture, these are very important. If you're talented person, the person whom you feel very competent, and you hire that person, and that person does not fit well within your strategic environment, then you are in a big soup. You're in a big problem. You are in a position to lose this person, and you have to start the entire process again. So not only losing a person whom maybe you have been involved with for the last 3 months. So you have invested a lot of energy. You have talked about your company quite a bit. So this person has a reasonable understanding of your company. And if that person goes into your competitor's company, then perhaps some perspectives will be taken from your company and applied in that company, perhaps. So that's one loss. The other loss is that you had wasted a lot of energy to find this person. In terms of money and time, that's a loss. And the next loss will be accumulating is the loss of finding the new person. So you have 3 losses coming, actually there is a fourth loss. There will be a frustration that will be brewing within your organization because somebody else is somehow managing that particular position. So others are feeling the brunt of the work, the additional assignment, additional work that they have to be doing, and they may not be getting much additional incentive for it or no incentive. So that is another frustrating model that will be brewing within the organization. So there are many different loss issues connected with the issue of not aligning your person with your organizational culture. The next one is you have to be able to see the organization eye to eye. This is in respect to the talent management person and in respect to the HR person or the leader who's hiring this person. You might have a particular view of your organization. Not everybody else will be viewing in that particular domain. You might be thinking that I will move up the rank and I will be in a managerial position. Somebody you had hired is thinking in terms of managerial position, but more on the R&D domain. But you did not pay attention to the particular perspective of that person. So you are pushing that person based on the growth and markets and demographic coverage and products and services, etc., from a managerial perspective. But that person was really thinking from the perspective of where the research is heading, how evolved research perspective that this organization has. Do they have the right research wing or equipment or research resource persons, etc. You may have wrongly convinced that person. So not seeing eye to eye, and this person joins your enterprise and then gets a fatal blow to their ego in the sense that, oh my God, where have I joined? This is nowhere in line with what I am capable of delivering. So that would be a catastrophic situation. So you don't want to be involved in. So you want to avoid these type of situations by making sure you are sharing your perspective eye to eye in relation to the other person whom or who you are trying to invite into your organization. Then comes the issue of mindset alignment. This is important. Your mindset and the other person's mindset should be somewhat aligned in the sense that these are the ways that we are doing. You can bring in new ways, no problem, but you also have to respect our ways a bit, and we will respect your new ways also, so we can come to a new corporate culture. That could happen, but please allow us a certain timeline so that we can slowly move towards that particular changed philosophy or changed mindset. If you can create that type of environment or ambience and create this aligned environment, then things will work properly for your talent. The next one is driving towards common vision. Obviously, your vision and organization vision, if they are too diverging, if they are too wacky in the sense that you are thinking of going into the aerospace industry and your organization is just thinking of doing some instrumentation and controls type of software, then obviously my vision and the organization vision are diverging significantly. So I will have a disorientation in this enterprise. My people with whom I will be working will also be disoriented because maybe I'm pushing a new idea and they are not at all ready for. So this will create a negative type of energy within the enterprise, and ultimately the vision will not be achieved, and you might even lose your job, or you might feel like I am leaving this position, and ultimately you do. So again, the problem of organizational culture and aligning the culture with your talent will have to be considered very significantly in order to ensure who you are hiring in what capacity. The last one is focus on talent optimization. At the end of the day, every organization wants to optimize or maximize their potentiality. Nobody wants to be sitting idle, in the sense that no organization would say that next 1 month, let's just chill and enjoy and do more or less nothing and feel happy. Nobody is going to do that. If you had a wonderful month, you might go a little slow for 3 or 4 days, but then again, you pick up your energy and start going out with full gusto so that you have even a better month than the previous month. We always reach out for achieving better and better targets. It's not always possible, but this is the mindset that human beings are imbued with from their childhood, maybe genetically uh, sequenced in our DNA. We don't know for sure. Some people say that some people have been genetically sequenced to be a leader. So anyway, I don't want to go into that particular avenue, and that will open a Pandora's box to carry on my presentation for any enormous amount of time, which we don't want to do. So last point is bringing the optimized environment for your talent so they don't leave. They're happy, they're content, and they produce the right results. And by them being happy and producing the right results, all the other people within the enterprise will also be strategically feeling more aligned with the vision, and they might feel that perhaps our vision will be achieved faster, and we are in the midst of a new change that we didn't have in the previous days. And now this new team is really moving forward, and I need to pick up my steam. I need to pick up my energy and be a contributing element in this new enterprise design, so that I feel excited that I chipped in my energy, I chipped in my effort, and now look what we have achieved. And by having a larger enterprise, your personal brand value within the enterprise will also move up. Everybody will know your enterprise, so your social status and whatnot, everything will be shot through the roof. So you will feel more attuned with this organization. So this is done by top management's vision, supported by the talent management team and also the human resource team, who are really working to optimize the efficiency levels so that the right people is brought in for the right jobs. So moving forward, I'm at the end of my session, and I end with $1 million question. So today's $1 million question is, should a leader be really alarmed when there is a talent squeeze in the organization? Of course, if there is a squeeze, if there are people who are leaving this organization and they are leaving for a cause, then you should be sufficiently alarmed. What is this cause? Why are my people who are talented leaving? Imagine your top 5 salesperson leaving. Imagine your head of strategy leaving, who was very, very sharp. Imagine your R&D program design manager who was leading from the front leaving. Why is that happening? Is it the salary? Is it the environment? Is it the industry? Or is it our particular perspective and behavior? Or is it that we don't have the right energy level, knowledge base anymore within this organization, and I cannot really contribute in creating the new enterprise? I feel hopeless. The best people around me has already left. The best people have already left, and I'm in the midst of a big ocean, not knowing where to navigate to, not knowing my true north. So you have to recalibrate this organization immediately, have these brainstorming sessions, and bring about this energy and the motivation and the guidance level up, so that the people who are available can be feeling a little bit confident that we are being supportive, and immediately try to fill in with the right set of talent who are strategically potentially aligned with this enterprise. So the organizational culture is also being supported with the type of people who will ultimately fit with this organization. But having said this, if you are thinking that the organizational culture is not proper, then you have to break that culture. It might create more stress, more people may leave, but after that storm, calm will come in, and maybe you will redefine your organization and you will grow your organization from the ashes. As we say, the phoenix has risen. So your organization will rise again from a dilapidated and really frustrating environment, which probably took place in the last few months, because you took the leadership role. You understood that talent management issue is a critical issue in this enterprise, and you are sufficiently alarmed and now quickly filling in those people who are leaving, and also offering the new set of circumstances so that the new set of people whom you have hired does not leave. So I would think that a large majority of my time should be focused on making sure my talent is sufficiently supported. And once I do this, I will be in a happy position. Everybody within the organization will feel uh, efficient, sufficiently satisfied, and the output as desired through the vision statement will automatically will come about, and even the organization may go beyond. So that's the happy environment that we should be driving forward by making sure the leadership design is proper and ensuring that the leadership design works effectively with the new talent, and ensuring that together they can proceed to the next level of organizational success. So with that, I would like to end today's session, and back to you. I am Advocate Zia Rahman from Dhaka. I am an adjunct faculty of IUB and CEO of IITM. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you next week.
Great. Thank you very much, Advocate Jia Rahman, for your presentations and your valuable inputs and sharing a lot of information with us. So with that, we conclude our 58th episode, Leadership and Talent Management. And I invite you to join our next session next week, same time. You can join with us. And if you have any questions, queries, you can reach us to our email address or through the social media. We are actually, we use different social media platform like Facebook, as we have, also we do have YouTube channels. You can see our videos in the YouTube. You can also share in the comment box. Also, you can email us at contact@gahlc.ca or contact@gahlc.org. So thank you very much again, Advocate Jia Rahman. You have been very passionate and great educator and trainer, and we really do appreciate your support for educating us. And
Thank you very much.
And stay safe and stay blessed. With that, I conclude. Thank you very much.